Here we go.
All right. Welcome to the February 24, 2021 Delhi Township Board of Trustees meeting. We will begin the meeting as we usually do with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. Tonight, we have two. One is Officer Jason Lagori from the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, who drowned in the line of duty trying to save a 16-year-old girl out in Hillsborough. And also for the 500,000 COVID victims in the United States, that the flags are flying half mast for them. So if we can please do the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so very much. There we go. All right, thank you. If we could open up with approval of the minutes, Mr. Luby.
Motion to approve the minutes from the Board of Trustees regular meeting held on February 10th, 2021.
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, motion approved.
Motion to approve the payment of overtime for pay period ending February 9th, 2021.
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion approved.
Motion to approve bills for payment.
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Motion carried. Okay, report, Mr. Luby.
Resolution 2021-023, resolution authorizing the township administrator to spend greater than $10,000 on behalf of the township, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I will second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution?
I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I will second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes. Resolution passes.
As far as significant transactions since the last meeting, on 2/18, our payroll was $301,000. We cut a check to Thomas Hamilton for $102,000 as part of the closing on the house, one of the houses on Rapid Run, part of the FEMA project. And we cut a check to Landscape Structures for $252,000, which was for playground equipment for the park. We also submitted our annual financial statements to the state of Ohio today. So we'll also work on and getting those financials uploaded onto our website. That's all I have.
All right. Thank you so very much. Okay, trustee correspondence, trustee Seavey.
Yeah, there has been a lot of social media chatter regarding the township's regulations on fences, signs, chickens, and a lot of issues that have come to bubble of recent. And I just wanted everyone to know, we hear you, we're listening, and we hope that you will be part of the March 2nd meeting regarding a total revision of our zoning regulations. So please mark the time. It's 9 o'clock in the morning and it will be available on our site after that, but I'm sure you'll hear this again and again tonight. But please, reach out to us if there's a question that you still have or that you want addressed so that we can do this with this March 2nd meeting. I mean, some of the strings of inquiries about some of these regulations are, they're intense. So I hear you, I read you, and we're trying to address each one of them. So tune in March the 2nd. And I just want to put out a little thank you to Hamilton County Public Health for the great results of the COVID vaccination distribution at the Senior Center. They are certainly a great professional group to work with, and it went smoothly, and everyone that was vaccinated there that day couldn't say anything nicer about it, just how well run it went. So thank you, Hamilton County Public Health. We're glad we were able to assist in the vaccination process.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Davis?
Well, first of all, obviously, congratulations to Mount St. Joseph University, and we were all there for the proclamation. And I'm going to yield to you, Madam President, because we probably have a word or two that you would like to mention about the college, since we were there for the proclamation and everything. So I don't want to steal your thunder. I also want to highlight what Trustee Seavey said. The social media, and you try not to pay too much attention to it, but you know, everybody has opinions, everyone has thoughts, and this week it happened to be on zoning and trying to help businesses in need, which every one of us, I think, are for that. It gets frustrating at times because, when you talk about the Pike and businesses and such, you have to remember Delhi Township does not own Delhi Pike. We don't own the businesses. We don't own the land. We've got no say in any of it. That's why we bought the Remke property, so that we could actually have a say as far as what businesses are coming into the township on the properties that we own. So in order to be part of the game, you got to be part of the ownership. And that's why we did what we did with Remke's, and that's going to be awesome. Trust me, it's going to be good for everyone. So good things are coming with that. We know it's frustrating because you see other people in need with zoning things. But the rules, I think when we see on March 2nd at that meeting, talking with Greg, and Greg will touch on this after a while, in his department head discussion in a couple minutes. This was meant to make it, I think, a little bit more user-friendly, to clean up the language in it that hasn't happened in a long, long time. And some of these things that have been on the books for whatever, 30, 40, 50 years. So I think it's going to be a good meeting. For those of you that have comments and such, it is going to be at 9 o'clock, March 2nd. And they'll be able to tune in for this meeting and such, but I don't know how that would be. And I'm wanting to ask Jack or whoever, if somebody has a question, first of all, doing it online or going to social media, you have direct contact with any of the elected officials, Rose, Cheryl, myself. Call us, text us, email us if you have questions. It really is that easy. But if someone has questions on the zoning and such, will they be able to ask any of these questions on March 2nd? So if they're watching the meeting and there's a burning thought in their mind, are they able to address that?
If it's all right, I'll respond to that, Mrs. Sturts. Mike, this meeting Tuesday is public hearing. You have to hold a public hearing for the zoning update change to your resolution. All right, so you're having a public hearing. You have a resolution on the agenda that to consider, and ultimately you could pass it. And if you don't like what is in it, you could deny it. Assuming you like what's in it, you'll ultimately pass the resolution. But as far as the meeting Tuesday, it is a comprehensive going through of the zoning resolution. It's mostly updating the structure of it and the format and the flow. It's not really making changes to what is regulated. There are those regulation changes in it. McBride Dale has been leading the charge. They're a local planning firm, one of the best in the region, in my opinion. Liz will be there, and what she will do is walk through what most of these changes entail. Not every line, but to capture the flavor of it. So what I would suggest is, if you're interested, watch the meeting. It's going to be too much to try and get a copy of it and know everything in it. Watch the meeting, listen to what she suggests. I would say you guys as a board then push it to the next meeting, or even have another meeting. You just do this separately, and people could send comments like, I'd like to know more about that. We could read comments. We could ultimately do it in person if there's enough interest in doing something in person. They could also potentially be part of the link if they really want to voice their opinion. So I would say Tuesday is really for people to listen and absorb what's going on, and then you would play it out another meeting or two, and plenty of time for folks to weigh in and offer their thoughts.
And I would remind the residents also, on our website, these documents are available as of right now. You could go on and download the documents and look through these yourselves, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
It's a lot to go through. So
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it's not a lot. It is a lot to go through, But if someone wants the time or really wants to look into the zoning, feel free. The meeting is a little under a week away. Feel free to look at that. And as we said, and I think Greg's going to make an excellent presentation to show kind of some things that were cleaned up, how, gone through some things. So I'm excited about that. And I know this has been in the works for what, almost a year. We've been looking at some other zoning things here, cleaning it up. Is that
I
accurate?
think it's been 18 months, Trustee Davis.
18 months. Okay.
18 months.
So
Yeah.
it's been a while, and hopefully there'll be some good news for that. So we'll have the meeting on the 2nd. We'll go through all of it, and then maybe we'll schedule another meeting after that for people that watch that meeting and have questions. Then we can answer their questions too. That way there's complete transparency, and that works for me, and I'm sure it works for everyone else there. So thank you so much.
Right, thank you. Also on that end, Trustee Davis, you're talking about we don't own the Pike. Landlords that own the Pike set the rates for their rents. They also, some have limited space. And when, as a business owner myself, you need a certain amount of space to put your business in. So if we don't have that footage, that square footage they want in one hole, that doesn't work for some of the businesses. And then some of them are either really big or really small. And the people that need the other sizes in between, that may not be out there. I mean, I had somebody that was interested in a place on the Pike, and they called the landlord, and the rent was way too high for them to work their business. So again, there's lots of different reasons why there aren't businesses there. And like Trustee Davis said, we don't own those buildings. We can't regulate that. So, and a lot of them want to have their businesses facing the Pike. And some of our strip malls, as you know, are perpendicular to the Pike. So that's not the exposure they want. So there's lots of different reasons why businesses are not going into what space we have now. And Mr. DeLong can talk about, our vacancy rate that everybody thinks is so high. So I hope he addresses that tonight in his speech, but his dialogue. So I appreciate that. And thank you, Trustee Davis, about the Mount. The Mount, if anybody goes that way and you're going down towards Bender, you saw their new sports center. It's spectacular. They had the media release the other day, and we did do a presentation, a proclamation to them. It's pretty spectacular. With talking to the president, Dr. Williams, he informed me they have an inside track, and it is NCAA regulation. And he's astounded that it is the only one in the region that's undercover. And even our big competitors, or the Mount's big competitors, they don't even have that nice of a facility for track and field in-house. So they're very proud. Myself as an alum, I'm very proud for them. And as a township, all the trustees share in their excitement and their success, moving on with their vision of growth for the university. So, it's beautiful. So God bless the students up there and their faculty for having that happen. So any other trustee comments? All right, thank you. So we'll move on with the fire department. We have some hiring recommendations tonight. If you would, Mr. Luby.
Motion to approve the hiring of Kevin J. Barkley III as part-time firefighter EMT in the fire department at the rate per the collective bargaining agreement with the Delhi Firefighters Association and successful completion of the pre-employment physical, drug testing, and background check effective on March 1st, 2021.
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Welcome, Mr. Barkley. Motion approved.
Motion to approve the hiring of Benjamin D. Feldman as part-time firefighter EMT in the fire department at the rate per the collective bargaining agreement with the Delhi Firefighters Association and successful completion of the pre-employment, physical, drug testing, and background check effective on March 1st, 2021.
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor? Yes.
Yes.
Welcome, Mr. Feldman. Motion passes.
Motion to approve the hiring of Benjamin L. Hodgson as part-time firefighter EMT in the fire department at the rate per the collective bargaining agreement with the Delhi Firefighters Association and successful completion of the pre-employment physical, drug testing, and background check effective on March 1st, 2021.
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Motion approved. I guess I should be calling them firefighters in their last name. So welcome, firefighter Hudson.
Motion to approve the hiring of Jacob D. John as part-time firefighter EMT in the fire department at the rate per the collective bargaining agreement with the Delhi Firefighters Association and successful completion of the pre-employment, physical, drug testing, and background check effective on March 1st, 2021.
So moved.
Seconded?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, motion carried. Welcome firefighter John.
Motion to approve the hiring of Alexander Jaleski as part-time firefighter EMT in the fire department at the rate per the collective bargaining agreement with the Delhi Firefighters Association and successful completion of the pre-employment physical, drug testing, and background check effective on March 1st, 2021.
So moved.
Seconded?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, motion carries. Welcome firefighter Jalewski.
Motion to approve the hiring of Nicholas M. Clems as part-time firefighter EMT in the fire department at the rate per the collective bargaining agreement with the Delhi Firefighters Association and successful completion of the pre-employment physical, drug testing, and background check effective on March 1st, 2021.
So moved.
Seconded?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, motion carries. Welcome firefighter Clems.
Motion to approve the hiring of Drake J. Oros as part-time firefighter EMT in the fire department at the rate per the collective bargaining agreement with the Delhi Firefighters Association and successful completion of the pre-employment physical, drug testing, and background check effective on March 1st, 2021.
So moved.
Seconded?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes, motion carries. Welcome firefighter Oros. Chief, do you want to talk about all your new hires?
Yeah, so as you guys are aware, we haven't hired any part-time firefighters since November of 2019. I don't think we've ever gone to this long a stretch without hires. Obviously, COVID really kind of created some turmoil in the programs. As we started getting some applications trickling in, they started coming in more towards the end of the year, and we were able to put this program together. And we think we got some really good finds out there. These firefighters represent our ability to cover across the board right now and kind of alleviate some of the long-term injuries we've had and vacancies that we've had in those positions through 2020. So we're looking forward to getting them in here, getting them trained. A lot of good prospects and a lot of good West Siders. Nothing against where you're from, but it's nice when you're hiring folks that are in and around this area. There's a culture that's kind of built up, and we're happy to take advantage of that. So we're excited. Get them started.
Great.
All right, congratulations on all the those hires, because I know it's strong competition out there, right, for bodies in your
It is.
field?
It is. It really is. Not a lot of people going into the fire service, so to find good candidates, it's been very difficult, and we're happy to come across these folks.
Okay. Any comments, Trustee Seavey?
Just welcome to all of them, because I see that they're firefighter EMTs, so that is a terrific hire, Doug. And welcome to Delhi.
Right. Trustee Davis?
About the same there. Congratulations, Chief. Congratulations to all the firefighters. And I'm sure you'll feel part of the team, part of the family, which is awesome. Good job.
Okay, thank you. As we spoke a meeting ago, we're going to have each department head do a little presentation once a month to let you know what's been going on in their department. So Chief, you have something you'd like to brag about and inform us about?
Yeah, I actually threw together some numbers to share with you tonight. Kind of looking back, just captured January. I broke it down into two areas. You hear me often discuss about the work that we do within CARES and all the good work that Bobby Honner and Brian Centerhouse, Lieutenant Centerhouse do day to day and kind of affecting our fall prevention. And that all falls under our community risk reduction. So tonight, I just want to kind of share with you what it is that we do or accomplish when we're not out making emergency calls. We do a number of things to kind of help watch out for the township. You know, we've been digging out hydrants. We've been cleaning the undercarriages of the units with all this salt and snow and things like that. But we still have a lot of important things that we accomplish in reducing risk. One of those being the fire safety inspections. So we conducted 32 of those. We have 600 inspections that we do a year to keep up with. So that's a big part of it. Our CARES consultations, we made phone calls and were able to reach out to folks that are a fall risk in our community and try to get them hooked up with the help and resources they need to not have to call 911, but to can be a little bit more independent. We did 4 car seats. We did a 35 enrollment CPR course, and it is a hybrid. So we're still out there performing the good work and outreach to educate our public in CPR. It is a hybrid, so they can take the course online and come into the firehouse and be checked off by one of our firefighters for their CPR certification. We do network a lot with healthcare professionals here in the region. So nurses and different healthcare workers that need their CPR certifications, we provide those provider classes for them to get recertified. Proud of that. We did have one tour this month in January, and also one parade. Parades have been really kind of taken off. I know it's cold. I would expect with the warm weather and COVID, we'll probably be back at it again when warmer weather hits. But it's a nice way for us to continue to reach out to the public and do it safely. On the flip side, this would be our operations. I think a lot of people don't realize, we're averaging over 10 runs a day. It seems a little bit far flung from where we used to be as an organization. I mean, we were over 3,600 runs last year, all told. So starting out January, 327 total runs. We do run between 75 and 85% of our runs being medical calls. So you can see that 270 calls that fall under EMS. Did have 2 car fires back in January, and then break down the other calls and just kind of what we normally see when we show up. Folks maybe see smoke and call us because they think something's on fire, and we find out it's an open burn, or a detector goes off and it's malfunctioning, those type of things. But the predominant service call that we had in January would be the medical calls. We transported 216 patients. Our loss for January was 75,000. I can say the vast majority of that loss was not due to fire. We actually had a water damage in a structure when a water pipe ruptured, caused significant damage to that structure. And I know what's always important as a delivery for us is people really want to know, how quickly can I expect emergency resources on the scene here in Delhi? And with our 3 stations, our 10 square miles, we can still provide some of the top response times in any community in Hamilton County. So our average response time from the time we are called to the time we arrive at your house is 5 minutes and 9 seconds. So again, that's kind of where we're at. I would appreciate, any input as we go along. I do keep a number of statistics. Anybody that is interested in the community can call up the firehouse. We look at a number of things like our districts, how many times we respond in each unit. We kind of track those trends and see what we need to do and how we respond differently in the future. So if this stirs any questions or anything you'd like to see from here on out, I'd be happy to provide that to you.
Okay. So when you had loss on there, I just want to make sure everybody understands that's the loss of property or damage. That's not $75,000 we lost.
Oh,
in any.
correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
And the reason, normally we would term it fire loss, but however, we respond to a number of incidents that there's a loss of money to the property owner that don't involve fire. It could be water damage, smoke damage. There's a number of things. So we've really kind of held off calling it fire loss since it's not all fires. So
Sure.
2 vehicle fires, which are typically a total loss of the value of those vehicles, and then the water damage in the apartment adds up to that continual loss. One thing we do also check is like, what's the actual value versus what was lost. And I know in this case, The total value of the things that were damaged were $242,000. Well, out of that $242,000, we lost $75,000, but not the fire department, the owner.
The owner.
That's how we look at it.
Okay, thank you. Any comments or questions, Mrs. Seavey?
No,
Okay.
keep
And
us
Mr.
safe, Doug.
Davis? Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Davis?
Hey, Chief, the like the Med First places and those places, have those helped us not have as many squad runs at all, or is that really have no bearing when they can run up and get first aid right away? And has that helped at all? Since you have one right across from the firehouse.
So you're speaking to the private ambulances?
The like med, where you can go in for 24-hour med care type of thing.
Urgent care, like
Urgent care,
like
thank
urgent
you.
care and things.
Yeah.
So we do typically, so what we experience in a number of ways is a person that probably should have called 911 instead of gone to the urgent care. We typically do get called for those folks. I don't know how we would know necessarily whether or not that's a saved call, but I can tell you most of the folks that we do take out of the urgent care are not Delhi residents. They're folks that are traveling in to get care at that facility. So that may add to our numbers a little bit, actually.
That's what I thought. Yeah, something had to be bumping a little bit. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
Okay, to finish up, Doug?
I did put a notice out, and I thank you again. I appreciate you remind me. So what I'd like to announce is we are in need of some scouts that would be interested in our Explorer program. So high school age students looking to get involved in the fire service. We would ask parents and students to attend our informational session on March 1st at 6:30. That's normally when we have our Explorer Post meetings. And Explorers is a sanctioned organization through the Boy Scouts of America. Each fire department that has an Explorer Post sponsors that post and allows those kids that are interested in learning about the fire service to come into the firehouse and learn the activities that we do. So it's part of scouting. It is an actual organization tied to scouting. And I would tell you the big draw is there's probably a lot of kids that don't realize, that they're interested in it until they kind of show up and see what it's all about. But as you know, board, we've hired multitude of full-time and part-time folks from our own Explorer Post, including this hire. Drake Orris, he just completed his certification. He's one of our Explorers. So we look at that as a value where you're kind of farming them up through, high school. And we get an opportunity once they get their certifications to come in here and stay with the organization. So if you have anybody out there that's involved or wants to be involved with our organization through the Fire Explorer Post, we did post it on our Facebook account and we did put it out on Twitter. So just look at those items and we will have an informational meeting. We do follow COVID, CDC guidelines. Socially distancing and masks. So, we do create a safe environment for the kids to learn a little bit more about the fire service. And then hopefully we can get into full strength again because we have had a number of them graduate. So we would definitely looking to recruit some more.
Okay. Well, thank you.
One comment, Rose, one comment. Doug, you do take girls.
Oh, absolutely. Explore.
Good point.
No,
Thank you, Mrs. Savy.
Yeah. And I didn't emphasize that just like venturing scouts, Explorer Posts are boys and girls. They are co-ed programs. Yes.
Right.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yes.
All right. And as Trustee CB had said, thank you for keeping us safe. Give our regards to all the troops.
Will do.
Thanks for
you
your
so
report.
much.
All right. Next, we have Parks and Recreation, Mr. Soupy.
Hello,
Hi.
trustees. How you doing?
Fine. Okay, so I know we don't have any business, but a little report of what's going on. I know you spoke at the last meeting.
Yeah, we have a couple things to update you on. I'd say the first and foremost is the snow removal. We've been busy doing that the past 3-4 weeks or so. It's been our priority with our crew. We help along with the road crews with the roadways, and we help along with the building steps, sidewalks, everything also. And I want to just kind of remind people too, also with the snow removal, we had to shut the park down this past snow because it was so severe, and so it wasn't safe enough to let through until we got the main roads cleared. So just be aware if this is an issue, you might have to get to a point and turn around because we haven't had time to get to it yet. But we'll have it cleared. Every time it gets a day or two behind, but we'll get it. Secondly, what Trustee Seavey had said, we had Hamilton County Public Health administering vaccines at our senior community center past Thursday. That went really well. They're going to come back in March for the second doses as well. It's by appointments only on that circumstance too. And thirdly, as Mr. Luby had said, we did take delivery of the playground equipment. It will probably be starting bids going out here soon, and for the install and site work preparation. Next, we have we've been staying scheduling for baseball. Hopefully, weather stays broke here, and we'll stay with baseball, softball scheduling. Get the fields ready. I know it's pretty wet right now. I had a little taste of good weather here this past week, though. It's been nice. The crews have been doing maintenance on the senior center lodge. We did inside work. It helps out. We do the waxing the floors, touch up paint, etc., get the place in shape. And we also take care of our equipment, getting it ready for spring to hit because it is a busy season. We have to be prepared. It's like sharpening all the mower blades. We do all the oils changing, filters, etc., like that. So lastly, I have, I don't want to take too much time, but I want to have it out there that applicants for the summer seasonal help are out now too for the parks. So if anybody wants to join the parks for summer, online or call the office as well, 451-3300.
Is there a minimum age?
I believe it's 18 is recommended. I believe we will work with younger. They have to have more signatures from schools and parents as well. But yeah, 18 is recommended though.
Okay, thank you.
And kind of lastly, but not leastly, we have been installing with the weather, the pet cleanup stations and bags. You might see them popping up here and there through the parks. So we're getting that stuff taken care of as well.
Great. Any questions, Trustee Seavey?
No. I was up there. The park looked great, and the ducks were swimming in that small little thawed area of the lake. So
Honestly, that's their safety. They stay on the ice, and then when they feel danger, they'll go in the water area. That they keep a little spot every time open. So
keep the hut going for them up there, Randy. They still need a warm place in the evening.
Yeah. Hopefully it stays as warm.
Right. Be nice.
Yes.
Trustee Davis?
Thank you. Just a quick question. Mr. Soupy, I know it was Hamilton County that did the vaccinations. Did they say like number wise how many they had that day that came in to be vaccinated?
It was only a 2-hour window, and I believe there was right around 100 folks that came through.
My goodness.
And had that done.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
That's good to hear. Okay.
Well, I hope they come back for another round, not just the seconds. Come back and do some more. That'd be great.
That would be nice.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Soupy, for keeping everything going and getting us ready for the spring.
Thank you all.
Appreciate you being here. Thank you. All right. Police Department, Chief Howarth, good to see you.
Good seeing you. Thank you, Board of Trustees. I would like to compliment Randy real quick and his crew, Public Works and the parks that took care of the roadways these last couple snowfalls. They did a great job. I know we didn't have many issues as far as the police department getting around on the streets and helping citizens. So it's a credit to them. So I do want to thank them. I just wanted to cover a couple statistics today from January, kind of give you an idea of what our month looked like. As far as the incidents go, you can see we almost hit 1,800 incidents. That's considered dispatches to a report for somebody's residence if they call us. It's also self-initiated, where if we do a school walk, the officers will walk through the school, they'll document that too. So it is self-initiated also. You'll see criminal reports. We took 69 criminal reports. I can tell you last year, January, we took 83. So those are down this month. Last year January was pre-COVID. So things were, I think, going, people were out a lot more than they are now. That 69 is, you'll see in the next slide, 69 is kind of high, just because if you take out some fraud offenses that we had in January, the criminal reports would be really down. But we had 17% of our reports were from fraud this January. Part 1 crime, just kind of give you a little insight on that. That's your major crime, your robbery, your burglary, your rapes, murders, etc. Theft is also in that under Part 1 crime. So we had 15 of those in January. Part 2 crime is your less serious crime, your criminal damaging, your fraud offenses, your drug, narcotic offenses, etc. We had 54 of those, and then violent crime. You see, we had 0 violent crime. Just to give you an idea on that, violent crime in the state of Ohio is considered murder, rape, robbery, and aggravated assault. So we had 0 of those in January. I can tell you we had 19 last year total for the year of violent crime. So starting off good in violent crime this year with 0. The average actually, I take that back. We had 14 last year. The average over the last 5 years has been 19 per year. 19 per year, but last year we had 14. Auto accidents, we took 23 official auto accident reports. I say official because there's 23 that we reported to the state of Ohio. That's not including an accident that we got called to. That was a minor fender bender, nobody injured, some property damage to vehicles. The 2 owners of the vehicles were willing to exchange information because the one admits they're at fault and they'll take care of it through their insurance. So we document that as an incident, but it's not actually sent to the state of Ohio. So 23 official went to the state of Ohio. They are reportable. We have to report them if there's injury. So 5 of the 23 were injury accidents. We actually had 9 hit skips. The last I looked, we had solved 6 of those 9. And then we did not have a fatality. And traffic safety, we call out on any serious auto accident where it could be serious injury or life-threatening. We did not have any in January. We have called them out once in February so far this month. And then assigned cases, when I say assigned cases, those are to the investigative division where the officers, actually the detectives, have to follow up on a case. We had 63 of the 69 reports actually went back to investigations. It's kind of a moving target. Arrests, there's 7, but if we made an arrest on a January report, you know, if I go back and run these again, you know, in a couple of days, if we make an arrest from a January report, that number is going to go up to 8. So as of the time of this report, there was 7. Out of the 63, we still have 16 active cases. The investigators have closed 16, and then we have 24 other. When you ask what other is, that's probably inactive, a lot of inactive cases. We haven't closed it. We haven't arrested anybody. We haven't signed warrants on anybody. We haven't closed it, but it's inactive. We have nothing else we can go on until something else is developed. The next slide is going to just kind of show the month in January in percentages. Like I said, if you look at our 2020 year overall, theft is going to be our biggest percentage. As you can see, fraud this month, 17.4%, is just under theft. The driver behind that actually is people's personal information being used to file for unemployment. I'm sure you've heard about that going around. We've had tons of calls about that. So that's the driver behind the fraud. And then right in the middle there is drug and narcotic offenses. That's paraphernalia of drug equipment or actual possession of the narcotic itself. So if you have any questions, those are pretty much January. Once I get everything finalized from 2020, I might cover 2020 and show the 5-year trends from 2016 to 2020. I can tell you Part 1 crime, Part 2 crime, and overall crime has gone down each year for the last 5 years.
Great, thank you. Any questions, Trustee Seavey?
Just one, Chief, because there's always this question about COVID mask violations. Have we had any inquiries about that, or about businesses in particular?
Not recently. Early on, when it was came out mandated, we did get some calls, but not as many as I would have thought from businesses, from people going in and seeing. I can say for the most part here recently, people are complying with that, and I know businesses are. You're walking in with one, if you're at your table eating, then naturally that's not. But we have very little actually, but I think that's a credit to the businesses actually being on top of it. So we appreciate that. But we will respond, and it's suggested that they wear the mask, and if naturally the business owner doesn't want them there because they have to wear a mask if they're not, so we'll ask them to leave, but we haven't even really had to do that.
Good. All right. Thank you.
Trustee Davis, comments or questions?
Just one, Chief. The statistic kind of was eye-opening. 23 accidents, and of those 23 accidents, 9 of them were hit skip. They took off.
Exactly.
9 out of 23. It makes me want to go out and buy one of those dash cams that's always running, and probably not a bad idea just to have that. That is absolutely amazing that those statistics are that way. And that is going to be something I think that we should keep an eye on. Maybe look at what it's been the last year or two, but also as we go and grow into 2021, to just keep an eye on that. That's kind of a scary statistic, to be honest with you. I don't like it, but something that I want to keep an eye on.
Well, that's probably, I'd say that's a little higher than average from the month for the 12 months out of the year. But we probably have more than you realize. Good solve rate as far as hit skip goes, which is good. Anymore, if a part's left behind, a lot of it has identifying numbers on it, so you can get, a lot of cameras on the street or at Ring doorbells, plowing a parked car, so forth. So we're good about that. And I would like to encourage people to let us know if they have surveillance cameras. We do have that where you can register it on our website. That way, if we have any kind of, not just auto accident, but burglary next door, something like that, we just go to the database. We can look up to see in that area who's got cameras on their house, and that can help us, identify somebody running through somebody's yard after they broke in somebody's house and so forth. So that's another feature I'd like to highlight that people could actually go out and use. And we have quite a bit that do register it. That's all we're using it for, that we can call you, we can look in that database and call you and say, hey, we had a theft, or, we had an incident at this residence. We want to know if you can look at your cameras and see if it captured any.
That's good stuff.
That's great. Yeah. I wasn't aware of that. So that's a great message to get out there. Obviously, we're a small community, but we're not immune to what's going on in the world right now. So again, thank your troops for all of their work and keeping us safe. So
And we appreciate all you and all the residents.
okay, great. Thanks for being here. Okay. All right. Now we have Public Works, Mr. Rippinger.
Thank you, trustees. Probably needless to say, I think everybody around here has been in a truck or taking a nap or sleeping a little bit, but I'll go into that a little bit. I'd like to thank all the drivers, the parks department, as Randy said, he helps us out a bunch. The mechanics, we've had them driving, loading trucks and keeping everything running. The secretary keeps everything, keeps track of everything. It's definitely been a busy season, to say the least. The residents also were great. A lot of cars were moved out of the roadway onto their driveways. That helped a bunch. We only had a handful of complaints, really. Everyone seemed very patient. For example, if it snows 5 inches, it could take, depending on temperature, it could take us up to 6 hours to clean 55 miles of roadway. So we do have a couple rush hour routes in place to help speed that up, which have worked pretty good this year. And our timing was pretty good on a couple of those last snows also. That helped. Let's see some more information.
Oh, there you go.
We have
You locked up for a little bit there. Sorry.
some more information. We have 5 routes, 11 miles per route. And this season so far, we've used 825 ton of salt, 2,500 gallon of calcium chloride, and 1,300 gallons of diesel fuel. So there's a few stats of how I guess we were due for a pretty good winter, really, considering the last couple. Some other projects that we're working on. At the last trustees meeting, we awarded the road project close to $1 million in the Greenwell Riverwatch subdivision. That, depending on weather, could be started in March. So we're excited to get that underway. Another project that the Public Works Department have been very busy with, especially lately, is the Rapid Run Phase 3 project. It's a $3 million FEMA grant and an additional $991,000 MSD local share amount. Recently, we have worked with MSD real estate property specialist, multiple lawyers, the demo contractor, the asbestos inspection contractor, and of course, along with the residents to keep the project moving forward. By the end of this month, we will have made 19 offers, 15 accepted offers, and will have closed on 2 houses. This voluntary project has really been a great tool to alleviate the flood-prone properties in that area. I think everybody is well aware of, and obviously in the future meetings, we'll keep you updated on the progress on that. I did want to mention there's always some good information on our website on all the projects we're working on or snow removal. So it's something nice to check in on. And I would also like to recruit, as Randy did and a couple others, we're also looking for a summer help for this year. So if you would like to call our shop or check the website, it's listed on there. Did anybody have any question on any of those projects?
Trustee Seavey?
You certainly got some great praise on social media regarding our street cleaning. And so thank you to the residents who took the time to say, great job, Delhi. And of course, we always have our usual confusion run on which street we clean and which streets Hamilton County is responsible for. And it's always great to go down Lower Delhi Pike and see where we stop and where they start, because it's like there's a real line there and the snow is on the Hamilton County side and we're clear. So thank you to all of your crew. I think you just did an amazing job. It's a freaky storm and you certainly handled it well.
Thank you.
Trustee Davis?
Nope, concur with Trustee Seavey. Good job. And I like that you're putting all those numbers out, but I kind of think that you're trying to pat your budget for next year already.
I think I'm going to make it to next year on this budget. No.
I'll
that's
tell you,
it. Yeah.
you know, yeah.
So my question is, I know you pre-purchased the salt, and you probably have had salt from years past because we've not had bad winters. How is our supply? And do you have to go out and purchase more? Because I know sometimes it's inflated because it's like almost like a commodity, and you try to play the game of when's the best time to buy it. How are we doing with our salt supply?
Well, we're hoping winter's over with, but we have enough, to easily make it through this season, obviously. But I was able to get salt all winter. I had ordered as soon as we, had a little bit of room. So we were doing, I think a little better off than a lot of other jurisdictions. So
Okay,
it's pretty good. And we do share that dome with Hamilton County engineers.
right.
Mention jurisdiction, that information is also listed on our website, and the easiest way to remember is the township roads that we maintain are 25 miles per hour, and then the county is 35 miles per hour.
Great. And your hires that you're looking for, are we talking 18 years and older also?
Yes, it's 18 and older, and we actually only hire one summer help, so
Okay.
they're on the lookout.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you for being here, and thank you for all that information.
Thank you.
All right. Next up is administration, Mr. Cameron.
So I don't have a specific department. I thought I'd take 5 minutes and just talk about every other department, if that's okay. Just
Sure,
kidding.
your 5 minutes.
Just kidding, just kidding. I wanted to just note a couple things. I don't have the statistics or the specific things, but so the Remke project, we continue to push and pull on that, still getting things in place. So Mr. Davis mentioned how exciting that was, and we look to get that moving forward in the next few months, hopefully. The playground project, Randy got the equipment at the park. We've paid for that. We will put the rest of the package out to install that equipment. It's maybe a $700,000 project, hopefully no more than that with the bids that come in. So it will be an attraction for the park in the area, I can tell you that. Verizon is doing some 5G installation. I'm just kind of hitting on some broader things. Just be aware, I think they're all on utility poles that exist, but they will replace them. So you'll see bigger poles go up. So they're deploying in Delhi Township soon. One of the projects we're working on is updating the website. That will probably be before the end of June that we launch. So folks will see a new user experience from their end, more functionality. That includes a recreational package that you can do your reservations and payment on, which we don't have now. And then a module that will handle your boards and commissions meetings. So that's something we're working on, putting a lot of effort into in the next several months. The last thing, I've gotten a couple calls, I'm assuming you have, about gas electric rates, more electric rates at the moment. The township has an aggregated rate in place for natural gas and electric supply. The calls we're getting are in regard to my bill's higher this month. This rate's got to be inaccurate or something wrong with it. Our rate is right in line with where Duke's at or other suppliers. It's a fine rate. If your cost was up this month, it's probably because of the weather. Your usage went up. But I would ask people to call the office, let us talk to them about their bill real quick. One gentleman called earlier this week. His bill was up, but it ended up being a usage issue. However, I connected him with our broker, and he talked through his bill with him, and his best course of action was going to Duke regulated pricing. Because he uses beyond a certain amount of electric, Duke then drops his rate more than we can. So it doesn't matter what your issue is, what you think it is, please call and let us help you with that issue. But it's probably usage if your bill was higher than the last month, but please call, we'll help you out. So that's all I've got to report for you.
Okay. Trustee Seavey?
No, I'm good. Thanks, Jack.
Okay. Trustee Davis?
All good, thank you.
Okay. With regards to the bills, some people were targeting or zero in on the delivery charges of the gas or the electric was what went up. Has that been held, or does that vary also with usage?
You're getting out of my
Okay.
ability to answer. Our rate affects supply. If something else is up, it's probably a regulated aspect that it's going to happen across the board, but we just play in the supply part of your bill.
Okay. My other question is the 5G and trying to keep that out of Delhi. There's been some discussion about that. Can you explain? We don't have the capability of controlling utilities in that regard. Am I correct? Can you kind of explain that we can't say you can't put 5G up?
The utilities have the right to access and use the right of way. That's what it's there for. We have no ability to stop that. We have some ability to help figure out if they impact something, how to repair it. But at the end of the day, they have the right to be in the right of way, and these utilities all understand what that means.
Okay.
So we look to cooperate with them and gain cooperation. And right now they are, I think, save one new pole location, they are going on an existing pole, or they're pulling the pole out and putting a new one in. So there shouldn't be a bunch of new locations, which is a good thing. But they could eventually roll it out into neighborhoods and pop poles in the ground. And hopefully we'd get their cooperation to have meetings and let people know what's happening. But it's Verizon, but it'll be a contractor that's doing the work.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification. I appreciate it. Thank you, Jack, for your report. Last but not least, community development, Mr. DeLong. Been a little
Hey, how are
busy,
you doing?
have you?
No, we're never busy. I'm just happy to be in front of you tonight without a nuisance case. So we are
So are we.
thrilled
So
about
are we.
that. Yeah, it's been well over a year. It's just some exciting activity going on in the community. You guys already mentioned Mount St. Joe and the rec center. We're so happy to have that as part of our community. Skyline Chili, as you drive by there, you can see the dumpster and fencing around it. They are still open for drive-through only at this time, but they are doing their remodeling. It'll take about 10 weeks total for them to complete that project. Dr. Unger is going to be relocating his practice up onto the Westview Plaza up on Ebenezer Road. That project is wrapping up right now. Blue Roo Car Wash, they're expecting to break ground in March, and that's going to be by the Fifth Third Bank on the vacant lot down there. So that's weather depending, of course, right now. Hopefully we keep this warm weather so we can wash our cars. Garden Grove, that's the new 44-unit condominium development planned for the former Widderstatter Florist property on Covedale. We actually got plans in today for the first building. So they are moving forward on that. They're going to build the first building and put the infrastructure and roadway system in the development at one time, and then they'll start doing the additional buildings thereafter. Heather Ridge, we're still waiting on that to come forward. That was a rezoning you guys approved back last year for a 19 lot single family development on Cleves Warsaw. And then Greenside Estates, we've issued 13 zoning certificates so far to date for their 31 lot Dries development. Business news, we have some good news and some bad news. The good news, we did issue a new zoning certificate for a new women's boutique coming to the Rapid Run Plaza called Shop Sherban. They should be opening here in the next few weeks. We did get news, unfortunately, the Key Bank will be closing their location in Delhi. This is part of their restructuring. I did read news recently in the Dayton Daily News where they are consolidating a lot of their branches. Actually, there was news in this morning's paper about Fifth Third starting to do the same thing. Not impacting us, thank goodness, but they are starting to impact other communities with starting to consolidate the banking branches around the area. And to kind of talk about some of the things you were mentioning that is apparently on social media, Delhi is actually doing quite well. Last year, we had 13 new businesses open. We had 12 do remodeling or expansions. We had 5 new business relocations, and we only had 5 business closures. And of those 5 closures, 2 were due to retirement. 1 was a career change. 1 was a merger, and that was the Sprint T-Mobile merger. And the other one was actually a business, the building got sold and they relocated to Blue Ash because most of their clients were actually from the east side of the county. So we tried our best to keep them here, but they decided to move on to the east side closer to their clients. So with that said, Delhi is actually doing really good also on our vacancy rate. I know a lot of people think it's extremely high. It really is very good at this point. We're sitting at about 14.5% vacancy rate throughout the county or throughout the entire township, which is really good. Most communities are in the upper teens to lower 20s. I did look if we got the Central Hardware building, which is still planned to be demolished and or occupied. We're working with that property owner right now. Once that is taken care of, our vacancy rate would drop down to under 9%, which is really almost unheard of, even in a great economy and a strong community. So we're really happy where things are going. We know it can always get improved, but we're working with these property owners. I really appreciate Mr. Davis or Trustee Davis earlier mentioning we don't have control of what goes in buildings, but we do work very closely with these property owners, and there's a lot of variables that go into why they can and can't get tenants in their spaces. And some of it comes down to cost and everything else, especially if you got out a kitchen, things like that. And some of them don't want to take the risk, unfortunately, on a business if they don't have a good backtrack record on themselves. So, but that's kind of where we are on the business side of things. Some statistics, our zoning numbers right now on our zoning and nuisance complaints, we're sitting at 99 on the year. Last year, we unfortunately had 1,071. That is a lot. We are a small staff. We get out and do the best we can with doing our inspections and everything else. But right now we're sitting at 99. It did slow down in the last week due to snow, but I'm sure now that the snow is melting, we're going to start seeing things that were probably buried under the snow for quite a while. The top 3 complaints we've been getting so far this year have been unpaved parking, debris, and trailer storage. Our zoning certificate numbers for the year to date are 21, with a project value already at $1.6 million, which is really good. Last year, we issued a total of 271 certificates and a project value of almost $12 million. So we're on a really good path right now with that. We're starting to see a lot of infill housing go in, and that's really where we're starting to see some of these prices go up. Some projects, I want to thank first the community for their participation in Census 2020. That was really important for us. That is pivotal for us in the future on grant opportunities. So we had almost 100% participation. So really want to thank everyone on that. And then as previously mentioned in this meeting tonight, we've been working really hard on updating our zoning resolution, our zoning map, and also our fee schedule. The items it's mainly a lot of reorganization in that rewrite or revision. And if the community has questions, I highly encourage them to reach out to us. We have not had anyone reach out to us asking us questions about it. So I do encourage them to call us at 922-2705. We are more than happy to go through what we're doing. It is quite extensive. We did not put a marked up version on the website because it would be even more confusing to look at with a lot of strike throughs and bolds and everything else. So we just put the clean version on the website. And really where we are making a lot of the changes is just from things we hear from developers. We've lost developments because of our current code. So we try to make some, modifications to make it more business friendly for them. We're hearing some things about fencing in neighborhoods for corner lots. We've tried to address that in there. So we're really hearing from the community what they want, but those are people we're actually having interaction with. So if you have questions, definitely reach out to us or have concerns and share those ideas with us. We would love to hear them. If that's what we're here for, and to try to make this community keep going in the right path that it's heading right now. So that's all I've got, unless you have any questions for me.
Trustee Seavey?
Greg, thanks so much. I'm almost finished reading that volume that you left in my mailbox. I'm almost finished. But obviously that took a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of research and a lot of comparisons. And Trustee Davis, it was 1970 when a full revision of this thing actually took place. Now, we have had updates along the way, but this is a major project and a major update. And I just want to say that, really appreciate it. And really, we want to be business friendly. And I think what you've done and what you have presented to us is not only business friendly, but it's user friendly. You can find what you're looking for in your documents, and that's such an advantage. It's great. Thank you so much, Greg. And
You're welcome.
thanks to your team, Nathan and Tony.
Thanks.
Trustee Davis?
Greg, thank you so much. I'm going to play rapid fire with you, Greg. The 30-second shot clock. I'm just going to fire some things out at you.
Sure.
And give me your first thoughts, just things because we all hear so much stuff in the community, but I just want to throw some things at you. First of all, 922-2705. If anyone has questions on zoning and such, contact them. If you have a concern or other things going on, contact your trustees. You can do social media all day long. Unless you want results, then contact us that can help walk through that. What you presented tonight is awesome. I would have loved to have read that as a response to some of the social media posts, which lays it out and says, this is exactly where we are. But all of us have 10,000 things going on in our days also. And in order to respond to every social media, we'd be there all day. But honestly, folks, our blood, sweat, and tears is into the township. I've been here all my life. We see the same things. We question different businesses that come in, but again, we're trying to make a difference here. That being said, thank you so much for the number, Trustee Seavey, since 1970. So we really are looking at 50 years, right?
Yeah, it was actually 1975 when the township took over zoning from the county.
Was
Right.
that,
So
that was the birth year?
That was the birth year, 1975.
Yeah. Recently, I've been hearing things about a car wash that literally is a block from where I live. I grew up at that car wash with my mom, getting the cars clean. That is a great car wash, and I know they're battling some things, and I know there's only so much you can comment on, but that car wash hopefully isn't going anywhere. That's kind of been a landmark here in the township. But the car wash that we're talking about coming in up on the pike, these, as I understand it, are full service car washes. They will wash your interior, exterior. So, as far as pushing the Don Drive car wash out, hopefully not. Hopefully he'll get even more business from people that just want a quick, wash and go. So thank you for that information on that. That answers a little bit about the Central Hardware building, if you would. Shot clock's on. One fish, two fish. How come you go after these people, but that sign's still up there? It's been there for years. How come one fish, two fish sign's still up there?
We are working on getting that resolved right now. That was something that was one of the Band-Aids we put in the code a couple of years ago. We actually, during COVID, kind of backed off on, approaching businesses. We knew they were struggling, even though One Fish, Two Fish is closed. We are currently working with that property owner to get that resolved.
Awesome. Thank you for the vacancy rate. That was another thing brought up. What is the vacancy rate? So 14.5%. And once Central Hardware gets going, that will come down even more. So good job on that. Let's see, what else did I have here? I don't want to put there too much. I know a lot of people bring up the question on the new on the Remke project. What about retail? What about restaurants? Things like that. Retail and restaurants, they want volume. They want to see people on that pike. They want to see businesses being used. Okay, that's important. when you're going after McDonald's or you're going after McCabe Hardware, all of this stuff online, these are our businesses, people. McDonald's is the only Delhi we have. McCabe's the only hardware really that we have in the township. If there's issues, call them, call the ownership, call the managers and such, and go from there. The trustees, again, if we own the property, we'd already be up there. But I know Trustee Sturts, I think Trustee Sturts, Trustee Seaver, and myself, we've all called ownership. We've all been calling the managers to get some things resolved. I will say this, and I'm not going to speak for McDonald's, but when we spoke with McDonald's and talked with the owner, they're going through a whole hospitality retraining of their employees. So they're
Right.
looking to retrain the employees. They're looking to again, get the best hires you can possibly get in a really, if you're looking for a job, I mean, the unemployment rate is pretty low. So they're trying to get who they can to get in there. So I get it. I've experienced the same thing that everybody else has experienced at McDonald's. When you drive away, ticked off, but at the same time, be supportive, be as patient as you can, obviously, and call them, call the manager, call the ownership. It is a franchise. So, it's a little bit different of a situation, but those things are frustrating for all. But again, it's our community. We support each other, support our businesses is so crucial. I can't say it anymore. So I appreciate it, all of that information. And I can't wait for the meeting on March 2nd to kind of talk a little bit more about some of the zoning for people to have this chance now. It's online. Go on our website. You can see the zoning being brought about. So it's awesome. And I appreciate that for people that want to take that time. I think that was about all I had. I really appreciate it. And I know kudos to you and for everyone that's been working on this for the last 18 months, trying to clean this up, to make it user friendly, to make it business friendly. That would break all of our hearts. And honestly, it make you mad if businesses wanted to come here and they couldn't come here because of our stupid zoning wouldn't allow a simple change. So anyway, I think it's good. I think we're going to do everything we can to continue to bring business in here. And if there's something that's stopping businesses from coming in, we want to change it. We want to work with that to make this business friendly as we continue to do. Again, Cincinnati City Beat and these other publications in the state of Ohio, when they talk about Delhi as being one of the top places to live and grow and raise a family and to be, and it's the hot spot in the next 5 to 10 years, I don't think that's by chance. I think everybody from the residents to administration to the department heads, everybody really keeping this township what it is. And sometimes some of the zoning stuff, it might be a challenge. It might be tough to swallow at times, but you have to set standards. You have to set the line somewhere and have something that you're striving for. And so I appreciate that. And again, township, your concerns certainly will be heard. Contact any one of us and we'll go from there. Is my 30 seconds up?
I think it was a little while ago, Mike. But thank you very much.
Trustee
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Yeah. When you talk about, reaching out to us and wanting us to approach a business and tell them to get their service better. As a private business owner, I would be appalled if they called me. That's not their job. That's not our job. Now we want to hear, and like Trustee Davis said, call them yourself, give them the story. We're a third party by the time we get to them, but that owner doesn't want to hear from us and saying you're doing a really bad job running your business. That's bad relationships. You want to talk about running a business out. So, again, tolerance is a lot what's going on. I agree with you, Trustee Davis, on that. Any other comments?
Mr. Sturts, I have one question.
Yeah, please.
For Mr. Malone. Greg, do we have anything on our website that a new business owner or someone who moves into a new location, as far as what's required if they do any remodeling to their spot, or if they're going to install a sign that tells them, if they need, whether or not they need a permit from the township or a permit from the county?
We don't. That's something we probably need to add to the website. We try our best just to currently keep in touch with all the landlords on what they need to do. But that would be a good thing we could probably add, and definitely with the new website, even if it's just a brochure that we can put on there of what just a quick summary that we can send out or even have posted on the website. That'd be a good idea. But currently we do not have anything on there.
Okay, good suggestion. Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you, Mr.
Moody.
Libby.
Yeah. Okay, anything else, Mr. DeLong?
I'm good.
All right, thank you, thank your group,
Thanks.
thank
Thanks,
the,
Greg.
zoning board for all their time and effort put in over the past time. I know
Right.
it's a lot of work.
It was a challenge doing it via COVID. So
I can only imagine,
yeah,
yeah.
some of us sitting at home working on it and some working, here. So, but we managed to get through it. So
Right, and Hamilton County had to approve it, correct?
we did not send it to Hamilton County. We
okay.
have, just to streamline processes, we don't send things typically down there anymore.
Okay.
Ohio law does not require it anymore for us
Okay.
to do it. So
My misunderstanding. Okay, thank you.
you're
Thank you for all
welcome.
the work. Have a good evening.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Now would be the time for public comments, but being we're virtual, there are none at this time. So Mr. Luby, can we have the announcement of community events?
The Our Lady of Victory Blood Drive is Wednesday, March the 3rd from 12 to 6 p.m. That's at the Our Lady of Victory Convocation Center at 810 Neeb Road. You can call Hawksworth Blood Center or register online. The Delhi Historical Society program, George Remus, the Bourbon King, will be Monday, March 8th from 7 to 8 p.m. That will be at the lodge or virtual. So visit the website to confirm the location, and that's presented by author Bob Batchelor. Delhi Township Veteran Association general meeting is Tuesday, March the 9th from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. And that'll be at the lodge. To the state guidelines, the meetings are subject to change, so make sure you check the association's website to confirm the meeting place. The Delhi Library Virtual Homeschool Book Club is Wednesday, March 17th from 1 to 2 p.m. The group will discuss the book Tuck Everlasting by Natalie Babbitt. The book is available at the library and also downloadable. Registration is required by email, and the ages are 8 to 12. Delhi Branch Library Virtual After Hours Book Club is Wednesday, March 17th from 6 to 7 p.m. You can call the branch library for this month's book title. New members are always welcome, and registration is required at their website. That's all we have.
All right, thank you for that. We can't say it enough, but please, tune into our public hearing on March 2nd at 9 a.m. And then our next meeting is set for Wednesday, March 10th, standard 6 o'clock, and that will remain virtual. So Mrs. Seavey, if we could adjourn the meeting?
With no further business to be brought before this board, I move that we adjourn.
I second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, everybody stay safe. Have a good evening. Thank you, everybody, for your time. I hope you enjoyed the summaries from all the department heads.
Trustee
night.
Sturts, question?
Yes,
Are we doing that once a month? They'll be presenting, or how's that?
that's our intent right now. We'll see how it goes. Get a feedback from you, how you thought it all went. But yeah, it would be the second meeting of the month. That way they can have the reports from the previous month.
Great,
So-
thank you.
Open for discussion. Thank you.
We're off.
Still
Thanks,
recording.
Jack.
All right. See you guys. Bye-bye.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Stay safe. Be careful.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you.